Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are, and welcome along to the fourth round of 5 of the Junior Saloon Car Championship official eSeries, season number 4, and today we will head to Brands Hatch for this evening's action. My name's Joseph Black, and I'll be taking you through said action for this evening, helped, of course, alongside broadcast director Tom O'Farrell from 2F Media Production, series organizer Tom O'Farrell, yes, the same one, this time representing Perfect Acceleration Sim Racing, and then safety car driver and race director. We'll go into that a little bit later, but the race director this evening will also be Tom O'Farrell, so a very busy evening for himself. And then clerk of the course, as always, will be Craig Chorney. It's round 4 of a 5-round season, and we always add something just to spice things up, and this is the round that's been decided that we'll be having double points. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Brands Hatch GP Circuit will be hosting a double points round, and of course with only 5 rounds in the season, that could be absolutely humongous in terms of the championship standings. But let's take a look at said standings, and we'll see who's on top. It's Charlie Devlin with 133 points ahead of William Johnson, 20 points ahead of him, in fact, with a commanding lead. Tom Justice, it finds himself in 3rd place, and Ricky Pittman in 4th. Zane Quecker is in 5th, 1 point behind Ricky, and it feels as though he may well have the pace tonight to climb further up. Callum Williams is in 6th, Jake Critchley, Jonty Restrick, Jaden Slater, and then Christopher Riley will round out the top 10. Barnaby Brewer is in 11th ahead of Oliver Sweetman, who picked up 2 penalty points and so dropped down from 11th to 12th. Charlie Stapleton is in 13th, Sean Duffy in 14th, Jacob Ellis in 15th, 1 ahead of Charlie Kelso and Max Moron, who are locked in battle. Scotty O'Connor is in 18th, 20 points off of Moron, and then Jordan Taylor and Andrew Bailey round out the top 20. Aidan Ingram, Lucas Chatterton, Dominic Jones, Mason Turner, James Sutton, Callum Paris, Dino Rowlands, Adam Canour, Willis Harrison King, and Rossi Costello round out the top 30 drivers that we have competing across the course of this season. And just a reminder then of what they are competing for. First place in the scholarship class, which is the majority of the drivers receive free entry into the Junior Saloon Car Championship scholarship held on the 21st of February at Pembury. The all-comers class, the first place will get a £100 PASR voucher, and then second and third will get a PASR and AOC cap and hoodie. So lots of prizes on offer for these drivers, and of course the big one, the scholarship prize for a number of these drivers, for the majority of these drivers, that will be racing out on this circuit, and they'll be denoted by the yellow, whilst the all-comers will be denoted by the white. But well, let's have a look trackside. Let's have a look at what is going on in the qualifying session that started a few minutes ago. It's 4 minutes 22 left on the clock, and it is Charlie Devlin, the inevitable man, who's fighting up at the top, and he's got that pole position provisionally. Zane Quecker is alongside him on the front row at this point in time. Turner finds himself in third place, Mason Turner that is, and Jake Critchley in fourth. Those two have been very quick in practice, as has now our fifth place man Williams, who takes the lead of the all-comers in qualifying. Oliver Sweetman, also very quick. He's had a lot of practice laps, over 100 pumped in within the last couple of hours. He goes up to third place. And this is Callum Williams, then the leader of your all-comers class, and he is locked in that battle with Jacob Ellis and Sean Duffy. Of course, at this point in the season, they do start to think about the championship, especially with what's on offer here tonight in Kent. And then Max Moron and John T. Restrick will round out the top 10 there. But there is 5 competitors this evening for the all-comers class, and I mentioned that we didn't have our safety car driver Peter Cornelius this evening. He is unfortunately unavailable, and so what we will do instead is, if we do need a safety car, which we haven't across the course of the season, we will use a virtual safety car to denote to the drivers to slow down and naturally sort out the order that they find themselves in. 3 minutes left in this qualifying session, so about 2 more laps that they can throw in with where most of them are on the circuit. Sean Duffy is improving at the moment. The all-comers class is looking very interesting at this point in the season especially, and well, it's very important to note that potentially the quickest driver in the all-comers class, he threatened Charlie Devlin round 1, didn't show up for round 2 or round 3. He was away doing a small thing called Formula 1, working it, of course. He's not one of the drivers, but he found himself busy the last couple of weeks, thought he could make it tonight. He could not, and so instead he misses out on the opportunity to get double points and kisses his championship goodbye. That throws the that throws the championship more in the favour of Callum Williams, who is currently the leader in there, and Christopher Riley 6 points behind him in second place in the all-comers. He's currently qualified 18th, and with him being in the pit lane, it's unlikely he'll get another opportunity to improve on that. Sean Duffy will be coming up to the line. Is he going to improve? Indeed he is, and he is going to take that provisional pole position in the all-comers class, 7th place overall. He's in third place in that championship, 12 points off of Callum Williams, so it's ultimately not too far off of the leader, Jacob Ellis, 20 points off of Williams as well. Those 3 locked in battle. Riley a little bit off, will want to fight back. Tom Justice, who set slow laps in qualifying so he can find himself at the back. He's got challenges this evening with Charlie Kelso and Ricky Pittman going 34 and 59 seconds off of the pole time respectively. So Tom Justice might not be the only one attempting that because of how successfully it's been for him in the past and how successfully it has worked out for him in the last couple of weeks. He's won race 2, the reverse grid race, on multiple occasions. I think tonight it might be a little bit more serious with double points on the line to do both races, but of course with the approach that he's taken, I'm not sure that he's going to deviate from that at this point in time. He finds himself in 20th out of 24 at the moment. Charlie Kelso, Ricky Pittman, Andrew Bailey and James Sutton are the drivers behind him, all having not set competitive laps. Ricky Pittman not having set a lap at all. I don't think he will be setting a competitive lap time that's better than a second off of Charlie Devlin's 51.1, if I'm honest with you. Zane Quecker 3/10 off of the pole man, the 23 at the moment, and Johnson is going to be just above 4/10 back. Then Sweetman and Turner locked in battle very close. Critchley and Duffy locked in battle very close, and there's a 3/10 gap back to Callum Williams. 30 seconds left on the clock, so the final opportunities for these drivers to set their times. Oliver Sweetman very, very quick, very, very practiced here at Brands Hatch, and at the moment he finds himself in 4th place. Around the final corner though, he will have a hole punched in the air by the red car ahead of him, I believe. That is Callum Paris. Sweetman, can he improve? He's not improved in position. It's a 51.576, so it is an improvement on time, and he goes to within 1,000th of a second of Johnson. and remains on that second row of the grid. So not able to make any inroads on the top two at this point in time, as the checkered flag has waved. Charlie Devlin has backed out of his lap, so will not be improving. It looks like the car behind him. I'm not sure whether they were on a lap or not, but either way they backed out of it. Jaden Slater into the pit lane, and he is going to call his session to a close. William Johnson doing the same thing from third place. Zane Quecker still, I believe, on a lap, and Jacob Ellis around the final corner. Is he able to improve? No, he's not, because the timing board says a 5:38 for his lap time, so he has not improved, and that is the checkered flag wave for him. Charlie Kelso not improving enough to gain ahead of Tom Justice. He gets a 2:12, so he will start from 20th place. Callum Paris is going to come to the line from 14th, and I think he's going to remain there. 55.2 for the number 11. Indeed, he does stay there, but as the checkered flag is waved, it does appear as though the laps were set earlier on, the competitive laps, as it were, and it looks like Charlie Devlin is going to have enough in him to take that pole position away. Zane Quecker has not come to the end of his lap yet. Charlie Stapleton is on a push lap as well, and he'll head around the final corner. At the moment, he's set a 2-minute 1, but he's into the pit lane. Doesn't think he can improve in that 2-minute 1, and there's an 8-second gap between Aidan Ingram and Charlie Stapleton, so maybe a few drivers attempting the strategy that has seen Tom Justice successful. Charlie Devlin is going to go again, it looks like, and up to the line, but no, he dives into the pit lane last minute. Oliver Sweetman is invalidated, will not be improving on his time. Callum Williams into the pit lane as well, and it does appear to be that the checkered flag has come at a wrong time for some of these drivers. They would have been hoping to find their way further up. What can Mason Turner do? Well, the answer is nothing, because he remains in 5th place. Jonty Restrick not improving, and I find it unlikely he's going to improve at this point, but our championship leader continues to dominate in the scholarship class. Even he's 20 points ahead of William Johnson, and he's just taken pole position away. Zane Quecker, who's 5th in the standings, he's had the pace to be up there with Charlie Devlin. He's showing that again tonight with 2nd in this qualifying session. The only difference being that he's not been able to pull it through in race sessions. He's made mistakes that have cost him a lot in terms of pretty much everything, in terms of the fight for this championship, really, and he needs to pull it out of the bag this evening if he wants any opportunity. But a lot of these drivers, if they are able to pull through, will be doing very, very well this evening, and they should pick up a good haul of points. And I'm joined now by one of those drivers who's hoping for a good haul of points. It is going to be Scotty O'Connor joining me in the commentary box. Well, Scotty, I mean, it's very interesting to come to this round. It's double points. It's a whole different approach. But I mean, how are you approaching Brands Hatch?
To be honest with you, I didn't get enough practice in as what I should have. But I'm happy to come in with 13th. To be honest with you, I was expected around 18th or 20th. I couldn't be happier, to be honest with you.
Good. It's a good start to the session then, and of course double points on offer. In terms of the championship, of course, you might not be thinking about right at the very top, but are you thinking about maybe challenging for the top few spots at least as we bring the season to a close?
Yeah, definitely. Just trying to get as high as you can. With there only being 2 rounds left, including this one, there's not really a lot of room, but with this being a double points event, it might be a little bit easier to, crawl back them points, but I'm not sure.
It will be one that we have to wait and see, I think, and clawing back your points, saving your season is going to be really important this evening. Just one more from me, and it's just a question about the whole season in general, really. How have you been enjoying these Saxos? We only get to roll them out once a year or so, so it's a very unique car. How have you been finding them?
Oh, they're great. Probably one of the best handling cars I've ever had on a Seto, to be honest with you. Just really good all-round cars. A bit oversteery, but once you've got your brake bias and all your settings dialed in, they're really fun to drive. Certainly
so. They are certainly good fun to drive from personal experience. But thank you very much for joining me today, and good luck for the race session.
Thank you.
And that was Scott O'Connor, of course, had his best round at Alton Park, hoping to improve on that today at Brands Hatch. We will get race 1 underway very shortly. But just before then, a word from our partners at Perfect Acceleration Sim Racing. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's, of course, a message from our well-appreciated partners at Perfect Acceleration Sim Racing, which takes us perfectly to almost the start of this race. But just before we get underway for the 20-lap dash around Brands Hatch, we'll have a look at some of the liveries, have a look at some of the cars, and have a look at the cars lined up on this grid. Charlie Devlin, of course, the red livery on pole position, and we're going to head further back. Zane Quecker alongside him. Johnson and Sweetman line up on the second row of the grid, and then Mason Turner and Jake Critchley on the third. Duffy and Williams will make it an all-comers fourth row of the field, with Jacob Ellis and Max Moron rounding out the top 10 in Moron's very best qualifying performance of the season. Restrick and Brewer, O'Connor and Paris, Ingram and Stapleton, and then Slater and Riley as well in 17th and 18th. Charlie Kelso and Tom Justice round out the top 20, and then Bailey, Pittman, Sutton and Jones, who I cannot see on this grid just yet, but hopefully the number 7 will be joining us this evening. But that will be our 23 car grid at this point in time. Of course, if Dominic Jones joins, and he will, it looks like he will do from the pit lane, then we'll have our 24 car grid. But you can see you can hear the engines even. You can't see them, as the Citroen Saxo does cover them up. But it does look as though the cars are ready, the drivers are ready, and the action is ready to get underway very shortly. The lights are going to come on. There'll be 6 red ones before we go to the green, and before we get racing here for the double points round at Brands Hatch. It's the most important round of the season so far. The 6 lights are on, the drivers are ready, and the action's underway. Devlin gets off to a strong launch, Zane Quecker gets off to a poor one, and he's going to be challenged by William Johnson into the first corner. He covers off the 367, and Johnson tries to switch to the outside. Oliver Sweetman tries to take the opportunity on the inside of Johnson, and can he pull through? He can do so, so that is going to be a move for Oliver Sweetman onto the podium positions. Critchley and Turner swapping in the background, and there's a bit of contact further back. Ricky Pittman and Andrew Bailey, and then Jonty Restrick trying to get through on Brewer, Turner, Williams and Duffy, all 3 wide. And, well, it looks as though there's a bit of a spinner in the background as well. Who's that going to be? That looks like it's going to be, unfortunately, the man we spoke to a second ago, Scotty O'Connor, who drops to the very back, and that's unfortunate, but still an opportunity to build back. It's still only lap 1, and there's still a lot on offer. The racing will be aggressive today. They will know that they have a lot to fight for, and the double points is going to be so very important. And so we might be seeing more drivers get their elbows out than they usually would. But we'll see. Zane Quecker to the inside, or Oliver Sweetman on the inside of Zane Quecker even, and trying to make the move stick. It's a very long run down that straight that he had to remain, so it was just hanging in there, but he did pull through in the end, and he's up to second place. Can Zane find his way back through? William Johnson looking on the outside, but Zane braking early, broke both of their momentum, and well, he was trying to get the exit on Sweetman, but no such doing on the number 9, and Sweetman now 8 tenths off the back of Devlin, but managing to hold on to that second place. But a great lead built out by our championship leader, the number 23 Future Class car, and well, he looks to be trying to dominate and run away with the early runnings of this race. Zane Quecker trying to make his way back through on Sweetman. He, Johnson and Sweetman have been very locked in battle throughout the course of this first lap, and we will come around the final corner and bring it to an end. Zane Quecker gets a good run out of the final one and looks to be pushing towards the first corner. Oliver Sweetman hasn't really got much to answer for, and he's going to try and push him all the way to the inside line. Quecker then is through on the inside for the time being. They both run wide as they try to take the ideal line into the first corner. That covers off William Johnson's line, so he's not able to get through. Critchley, in the meantime, is caught right back into this battle and is right in the thick of things. That's going to be an inside line taken for Johnson. That's an outside line taken for Williams, who's going to filter his way through. That's a very, very good move, and he might get another one here on the inside line. That's Critchley, though, making his way through in the 32. And, well, there are very, very good moves made. Barnaby Brewer down in 11th place. He's just ahead of Jonty Restrick. And, well, at the moment, the two teammates, 10th and 11th, that's not going to last very long, with Restrick on the inside and making his way through and up into 11th place for the number 67. That's a good move for him, and that will he'll try to carry the momentum through, because he's 1.4 off the back of Max Moron at this time, and he'll want to be in that top 10. Barnaby Brewer right in behind and looking to the outside line potentially for the move on the car in 11th, but can't quite do so. They don't want to fight too hard too early on, because that will ruin their fight for later. If indeed they did want to fight in the top 10, Charlie Kelso on the outside line of Aiden Ingram and trying to make his way through. Pittman and Bailey waiting for any opportunity, and there is a bit of an opportunity. There's contact that sees Kelso off of the circuit, dropping all the way back to the rear of this little pack of cars, and that is a very, very disappointing moment for Kelso, but he's not lost out too much. He's still got an opportunity to fight back. Christopher Riley defending from Andrew Bailey. The 2 and the MB cars coming together for the first time this season, and of course there'll be no love lost between the two, but Riley looking further up, and he's got Ingram and Sutton, but there's contact between himself and Ingram, and they'll be hoping to keep it clean out of the final corner, because if you run off there, that's really, really going to mess you up, because there's gravel right off, and Andrew Bailey squeezed to the inside. They're all trying to take as much of an inside line as they possibly can, almost 4 wide into the first corner. In fact, it will be 4 wide. James Sutton the first to back out. The other two do not do so, and it'll be Riley who has a huge slide into the gravel, and he will be the latest to drop to the back of that pack. So a small mistake from the 115, and it's still somehow, even though they've lost one driver from this battle, almost 4 wide into the next braking zone. Charlie Kelso trying to make his way back up, and he is sandwiched by Bailey and Sutton, and in the end he gets through on Sutton, can't quite get through on Bailey, and there's a little bit of contact as he thought that he was going to be able to do the up and under, but unfortunately Bailey spotted it, braked early, and came across him as there was a bit of contact between the two drivers, and Charlie Kelso not able to make the move on Sutton in the end, but was able to get through on Bailey. Bailey through on Stapleton as he was trying to defend that position. It's all getting a little bit angsty down in this bottom part of the field, and up at the top, well, it's getting very, very interesting, because they've all sat there. They've all sat in formation for the last few laps. That is, apart from Charlie Devlin, who of course has run away, but Zane Quecker leading the rest of this pack, Sweetman and Johnson, and they are both very, very close together at this point in time. They are all very, very close together at this point in time. Critchley did catch up initially with this pack, as did Williams, but the pace of Quecker, Sweetman and Johnson has been just enough to break free. Critchley, though, is going to have another go at them. He's going to try and break free, and he's just gotten rid of Callum Williams for that 5th place. There's still a bit of aggression further down, and something's happened to Charlie Kelso, which sees him off of the circuit. I was looking for the late lunge down the inside from one of the drivers in the lead of this pack, probably Andrew Bailey on the inside of Stapleton, but no move done there, and that's Riley out, and that looks like some form of issue for the car that's just gone straight on off of the circuit into the stratosphere, and heading on already to next week's circuit. But yeah, very, very interesting one there, and that's unfortunate for Riley. That drops right to the back of that group as Ricky Pittman, Callum Paris side by side, 15th place. Pittman gets through, and the Scotsman is going to get through on Lightning McQueen. It's always good to see the liveries, and I think these two take the cake for my favourite liveries of the season. One representing their country, one representing, well, they've got their country flag on the top, but it's mostly about that Lightning McQueen stripe down the side. Johnson and Quecker swapping positions. Oliver Sweetman has taken the lead of the fight, but Johnson might be back through. There is nothing splitting the 9 and the 367 as they head down the hill towards the next braking zone. Who's going to dare? Is it going to be Johnson on the outside? Is it going to be Sweetman on the inside? Well, Johnson almost dipped a tyre onto the grass, but allowed just enough space, and once again allowed just enough space, because he was squeezed out, but was squeezed out onto the curbing, and now looks to squeeze Zane Quecker, and Zane hoping to take the position, hoping to hold himself alongside. Has pushed Johnson slightly wide, so elbows very much out for these podium positions. But Zane Quecker in the end holds third place ahead of William Johnson and sets his sights on Oliver Sweetman. This has been a very, very well-mannered, to be fair, considering the circumstances, considering what's at stake, but it's been a very, very aggressive fight, to say the least, and it's been a very, very good fight to watch, as they all are very desperate, very clearly wanting to take that P2 at the end of this race. But the leader of this group, Oliver Sweetman, has a 5-second time penalty added to his name. So Zane Quecker and Johnson and Critchley are essentially fighting over that second place. Fastest lap for Critchley last time out of 51 added to his name for the 32, and well, 5th place is where he currently stands. Might be 4th, as he might be able to get past Johnson. Might be 3rd post race, but we'll see of course what is going to happen, because of course they could all pick up penalties, or Sweetman could just break free like Charlie Devlin's done, and he's had a great run, has the 23 at this point in time. He's 4.1 seconds up the road in the number 23, and he's looking impenetrable so far this evening, and impenetrable. And as far as the championship goes, 20 points is his lead, and he looks to extend it. This is, though, an opportunity for everybody to find their way through on him, and of course in race 2 he won't quite have the advantage of starting at the very top of the field. Instead he'll have the vice versa. He'll be starting at the back, he'll be trying to fight his way through, and well, he'll have the pace to win the race, but whether he has the racecraft, whether the other drivers have the defensive ability to hold him off, is going to be a whole other question. Zane Quecker runs slightly wide, and Johnson could have taken an opportunity, but it was one that went begging, because I don't think he realised quite how wide Zane Quecker was going to go. And well, Johnson missed opportunity for him, but he maybe just didn't quite get the run that he would have wanted in order to safely pull alongside. That is the fight for second place, Sweetman, Quecker and Johnson at this point in time. And well, there's fights further down the order as well. 10th and 11th has been swapped. Jaden Slater through on Max Moron, and yeah, we will see where they'll stack up as we'll get to about halfway through this race. And Charlie Devlin 4.4, as he'll cross the line it may well be 4.5 separating himself and Oliver Sweetman. Looking right further back, Aidan Ingram, Charlie Stapleton through on Callum Paris, and something might have happened to Callum Paris, whether it's just as simple as a confidence knock, because he does appear to be dropping down, and that is unfortunate for him, as we've got another 5-second time penalty coming in for Charlie Kelso in the 95, watching on board with Callum Paris as he watches Stapleton and Ingram and tries to take an opportunity. It's a late lunge to the inside that he's opted for. He's allowed the space, he's allowed the opportunity, and he's made his way through nice and cleanly. Ingram not expecting it. Stapleton slingshots his way through, not just one but 2 cars as well, and they will be little bit of contact as Stapleton tried to sweep to the not the outside, but the outside of the inside line, if that makes any sense, and just try and give himself the best possible momentum to go through Paris and Ingram. A little bit of miscommunication between them two and Stapleton, but in the end it was the 27 that leads the 11 that leads the 28. Zane Quecker closer to Oliver Sweetman than he has been for some time, and they're both holding the inside. Johnson making the first move to the outside, Quecker quickly covering him off and maybe trying to go for an opportunity for himself, but he's boxed in by Oliver Sweetman on the exit of the corner, in contact between himself and Johnson as Johnson tried to take the opportunity in Quecker. Well, that's unfortunate for our number 44. Pace again that has not been able to be converted, and well, he drops down, but with 9 minutes left in the session, anything could really happen, and with the pace he was showing, he'll be hoping to fight his way maybe back into the top 5 with how close this field has been. But now that makes it from a 3-car battle for second place to a 2-car, from a 4-car even to a 3-car. Sweetman, Johnson and Critchley, the latest contenders, and 3-car battles are not uncommon. Paris, Ingram and Bailey all in cahoots, and it's not Bailey and Riley fighting anymore. Riley had that bad luck earlier on. Charlie Kelso getting involved in things as well, as Ingram runs wide through. Maybe goes Andrew Bailey. Is he going to get through nice and easily? Yes, he is. Not really much of a fight back from the number 28. Charlie Kelso 1.6 off of the back at this point in time, and Ingram watching in behind, and that's a great slingshot out of the final corner from Andrew Bailey. Jake Critchley through on William Johnson and into 3rd place on the inside of the first corner, made it nice and cleanly, and well, he's managed to make his way through the first real proper braking zone for Jake Critchley. That allowed him to seek his opportunity, find his opportunity, and number 32, made his way through. Max Moron through on Mason Turner, Jonty Restrick through on Tom Justice. Justice who, again, I mean, he fights his way through the field every single time. This week hasn't quite been as far up as he possibly could have been, but of course we don't really know what his pace is at each of these individual tracks. That is because he does sandbag in qualifying, he does go slower, and I would imagine that it also crosses over into things like practice where he doesn't quite want to reveal his true pace. But Tom Justice at the moment, the 57, in behind Jonty Restrick and trying to flex his muscles, as it were. And it's interesting to see Tom Justice going for this approach, because we have seen it in the past, him taking victories. He quite clearly does have race-winning pace, and so it's interesting to see that he's opted for the strategy where he sacrifices race 1 for race 2's purposes. But maybe he just doesn't feel as though he's quite got this pace that Charlie Devlin, Oliver Sweetman, the likes of them have. And of course, Sweetman's been very quick across the course of this weekend. Holds P2 at this point in time. He's got a 1.1 gap to Critchley. Johnson just about 2/10 back, and he will try to slingshot himself out of the final corner and alongside. He's going to be in the slipstream, so the number 32 will punch a hole in the air. And, well, we'll see as he tries to go to the outside. Is he going to be able to get through on the Velocia driving driver? He's very, very close. And the Voltage Racing team car of the 367 not quite able to take his opportunity, not quite able to find a chance, looking to the outside. But again, Jake Critchley just holding on for this time. And a reminder that this is the fight for P2. So it's very important, although if they keep fighting like this with this level of aggression, then we could be seeing Sweetman break off into the distance. Callum Williams 2.8 off of the back of William Johnson, who looks maybe for a move, and he'll be hoping that not just for himself but for the all-comers class, they'll be able to pick up decent pools of points as well. 5th place isn't too bad for himself, and it isn't too bad for Duffy, who was in behind, but he's dropped behind Slater and Ellis, so maybe a mistake from the 88. Johnson on the outside getting squeezed so much by Critchley, only just a car's width for the 367, and he's going to have to be later on the brakes. This is fantastic racecraft from both of these drivers, and fantastic respect shown as well. It's going to be again having to be late braking for Johnson on the outside line. Critchley goes slightly to the inside of the corner, maybe slightly off of the circuit to try and defend the position. But of course you can try and use the extremities of the track. You can try. Whether the race director agrees with it or not is another question. And William Johnson, well, there's one thing for sure, he went very wide. Sean Duffy in the wall, and he's going to drop very much down the order now. Unfortunate for him, unfortunate for his championship ideas, as he is provisionally 3rd place, or was provisionally 3rd place in those standings, and he would have closed in on the gap on Riley, but he still has the opportunity to, don't get me wrong, but it's going to be not as much as he would have liked. Max Moron trying to get the run out of the final corner on Zane Quecker, and this is one of those situations where there's a silver lining to every single cloud, and for Zane Quecker going round, of course that's disappointing. We would want to see him fighting at the very top of the field, but for the likes of Max Moron, who hasn't quite had the best season, he hasn't been fighting up at the top, he's been very competent, he's been a very, very good driver, but he hasn't quite had that overspeed. It's good to learn off of somebody who has done it before. Jacob Ellis and Jaden Slater fighting away. Ellis able to take the position, take 5th place, and open the door once again, or 6th place even, and open the door once again for Quecker and Moron to get within a 10th of a second of Jacob Ellis and Jaden Slater. They haven't quite done so yet. There's a 7/10 gap between the two cars, but it's very much possible. But if they keep fighting, it is not possible. Quecker on the outside, Moron on the inside, and he's just not quite able to get the run on the exits. You can see the back of that Citroen Saxo ahead of him with 3 minutes 50 left in this race session in the first round of, in the first race of round 4 of the Junior Saloon Car Championship. And Max Moron hoping to make his way through on the 44. Cannot quite find his gap. Tehu can. Jaden Slater on the inside of Ellis, but he can't quite get the overspeed, get the run, and get through. 7 seconds is the gap between Devlin and Sweetman. 3.7 is the difference between Sweetman and Critchley. And potentially, at the end of the day, Sweetman might be able to hold on to that position. Critchley has managed to build a gap till Johnson. So at the moment, Oliver Sweetman is holding on to a very, very provisional 3rd place that could very easily be taken off of him. This is Barnaby Brewer further down the order. He's just behind Turner, and then there's a big gap, so he's got no pressure from Tom Justice, who's managed to fight his way through to 12th place. No pressure from him behind, and it's all allowing himself to push forward. Brewer then looking to the outside line of the first corner, maybe on Mason Turner. And is he going to be able to get the run, get the overspeed? He's come out of the slipstream, so it's not quite going to be the speed that he would have been hoping for, and it's not quite going to be the move either. He'll wait for the next braking zone. He'll wait for another chance, but at the moment, the 8 clings on. But Barnaby looking very desperate to get through, and just a couple of positions up. Slater, same thing on Jacob Ellis. Barnaby Brewer now on the outside of Turner, who covers it off. The 8 holds on against the 26. 26 looking all over the back of Mason Turner. Can he get through on the outside line? No, again, Turner covers it off very, very well. So it's a strong defence from the number 8. And that is exactly what he can do. Aidan Ingram, Charlie Kelso and Callum Paris. Well, they've barely been able to let each other go all race, and it's once again that we'll be seeing Paris leading, Ingram leading Kelso. Kelso trying to take the outside, braking later than Aidan Ingram, and that's going to see the number 28 going for a half spin. So Charlie Kelso just trying to take his line. Aidan Ingram trying to take his line as well. Bit of miscommunication, and that was going to be that in terms of that fight. Very, very unfortunate indeed. Having a look at the chat then, and we've got a lot of support for Charlie Stapleton, a lot of support for a number of the drivers, but the most I'm seeing is for Charlie, who is in 15th at the moment, and well, he's looking in a very good position to pick up a decent haul of points and fight as well with cars that aren't necessarily better than him, but are very, very competent ones indeed. The likes of Ricky Pittman, the likes of Jonty Restrick, who of course is 2 seconds up the field. But I cannot emphasise enough the importance of racing somebody faster than you, because you learn and you adapt, and even if it is just a case of Max Moran sitting in behind watching Zane Quecker in action, then he knows the braking points, then he knows when he should be turning in. Jaden Slater on the inside line of Jacob Ellis. Can he get through in the 104? Yes, he can. He sets his sights on Williams now, and he's splitting up what could be a very, very good fight for the All-Stars. The All-Stars, the All-Comers lead, and Jacob Ellis knows this, and he's going to try and come back, but no such doing on this occasion. And well, he might be trying to get the switch back as well. So Jacob Ellis trying all sorts to get through on Jaden Slater at this point in time, but he hasn't been able to do so, and time is running out. 30 seconds less now on the clock. And Charlie Devlin has led this one from the start. 2 likely to finish. Johnson and Critchley side by side for 3rd place, and Quecker and Ellis swapping places. Quecker might even get through on Jaden Slater on the exit as well if he feels as though he can be strong enough to get his way up, but I don't think he is at this point in time. Critchley looking to come back at William Johnson. This is for the final podium position, as now Oliver Sweetman has broken that 5-second gap, and this is going to be very, very locked in arms, very, very aggressive, and a very, very good fight indeed. You would hope it looks like it's going to be, but Jake Critchley, 5-second time penalty added to his name. Callum Paris and Charlie Kelso also with 5 seconds. But for Critchley, that is going to put his battle for a podium on the back burner, and might even bring it to a complete standstill. Charlie Devlin then, he's driven so incredibly well throughout the course of this race, throughout the course of this championship. It's another crown to add to his trophy cabinet, and it's the 23 who wins race 1 here at Brands Hatch, and he's got points, well, double them for this round's victory. That is a huge, huge result in terms of sealing the championship. Oliver Sweetman, 2nd place for him. A very good drive that meant he was only just outside of 5 seconds ahead of William Johnson. Despite a 5-second penalty, Sweetman holds position. It's Critchley, Williams, Quecker, Ellis, Slater Moran, and then it's Turner, Barnaby Brewer, Tom Justice, that's Jonty Restrick coming to the line now. Charlie Stapleton will come to the line in a couple of moments' time, as will Ricky Pittman, Sean Duffy, Andrew Bailey, and everybody else will follow through. But of course, we will get the opportunity to speak to our race victor in that one. And well, we didn't see you apart from the first couple of corners, Charlie. So do you want to just sum up to me how that race went from your perspective?
Yeah, very, very well. I think that race was absolutely essential, obviously, as we're double points this week. Just managed to get a very good qualifying lap in, managed to get a relatively decent start, and that kind of summed up my race, really. I just managed to run away. Obviously, there was an absolutely titanic battle for P2 the entire race, so I was kind of watching that in my mirrors just to see what was going on. But yeah, very good race from my point of view.
Certainly was, and well, I mean, you've got a different dynamic into race 2. I've spoken to you about this a couple of times this season, but with the stakes higher here at Brands Hatch, are you going to take a different approach or just sit back and wait for things to happen?
I think this week is going to be hopefully the most cautious week for me. Obviously, I said that at Castle Combe and then got taken out straight away at the chicane, so yeah, that round wasn't ideal, but I think this round, again, it's going to be absolutely essential to keep your nose clean and just wait for opportunities to open up in a way. Obviously, you've got to get a decent start just so you don't fall too far back off the start. But yeah, it's going to be absolutely essential to keep your nose clean, get as many points as you can, basically, because yeah, you could lose a lot in one go to people around you.
Certainly could do. One problem could breed more, but well, thank you very much to you, Charlie, for joining us today, and well, good luck for race 2.
Thank you.
We'll go from Charlie to Callum, of course, who well, he was our all-comers victor for that race. It was a very, very good race from your perspective, or so it seemed, but if you have a different opinion, feel free to disagree with me. But I mean, double points added to your championship tally, that surely is very, very important.
Yeah, really good. Well, it's at the start of the round, it's 12 points from first to third, so I'm just aiming to try and make that gap a little bit bigger, hopefully.
Yeah, and of course, this is the best opportunity you will have to do so. Not a great race from a couple of your competitors as well. Of course, we saw Jacob Ellis finishing just a couple of places behind you, but Duffy, Bailey and Riley all further down, and Christopher Riley was in second place. Sean Duffy was in third in the championship. So, I mean, it's really a good opportunity. Race 2 then, different approach, or going for more of the same?
Oh, yeah. Hopefully I can get back in up the top again, but starting further back down the grid now, it's going to be a bit harder. So it's going to be more of a challenge, a bit more fun. Hopefully there's a bit of chaos up the top, so that would help.
It certainly would help your case, and it was certainly a lot of fun, I think, in this championship. And it has been to watch, and I'd imagine it has been to drive as well. But I'll let you go, I'll let you focus, I'll let you lock in for this second of this evening's rounds at Brands Hatch. So good luck to you.
Thank you.
It can be a very, very good race indeed, as echoed in the chat. As Mary Joyce has said, good race. Looking forward to Zane and Charlie coming from the back row. I certainly am looking forward to that one as well. It should be very good to watch those drivers. Just a reminder, we have a reverse grid for race number 2, and we are just under, or just over a minute away. So we'll get another word from our partners. Race day, ladies and gentlemen, and this is your pole man, Ricky Pittman, who is going to be starting from the very front of this field, and well, we will be getting to the lights very, very quickly then as the countdown has finished. The engines are revving, the drivers are ready, and the action's underway. Very, very strong start from Tom Justice from third place, and he's going to put alongside Andrew Bailey and maybe even Ricky Pittman heading down towards the first corner. But the overspeed from Bailey, the power that he's got in that Citroen Saxo, is going to mean that he's at least going to be fighting into the first corner. Tom Justice, though, does get through into second place, and Ricky Pittman appears to have the edge over the other two drivers. Tom Justice, the inside line beckons for him, the inside line beckons for Kelso, and there's a bit of contact between himself and Bailey, but in the end the 95 does muscle his way through, and the top 6 have really filtered their way through already. A big gap starting to form, a second gap to Charlie Stapleton in 7th place, but the top 6 looking very, very strong at this point in time, and Ricky Pittman under pressure from Tom Justice. Of course, Tom usually starting from pole in race 2, not doing so today, and had a slide trying to overtake and dropping back down. This is the first time that he's been the challenger for the lead of the race in race 2, but carnage further back. That's going to cost a number of drivers, and that's going to be the likes of Callum Paris, Jacob Ellis, Duffy's going to gain a position, but that's going to be Sweetman down the order as well, and that's a number of those cars already ruled out of contention with this pack on this first lap. So a huge, huge moment, and that is just that's one of those things where a domino effect can come into play, and that has been a very, very big moment for, in particular, the All-Comers Championship. Sean Duffy, Jacob Ellis, both right at the very back. Mason Turner and Charlie Devlin then fighting away, the number 23 already from the back of the grid up to 14th place, and looking maybe to catch up to Zane Quecker on this lap. That would be a huge moment as Quecker's on the back of Jonty Restrick. Johnson fighting with Max Moron, but as we might have a look at the top of the field once again, it's going to be Ricky Pittman who's going to end off this first lap. Charlie Kelso in second place, and Andrew Bailey in third place. Might not last for very long as Bailey on the outside, but Kelso looking to the inside line of Ricky Pittman. The lead is being challenged into turn number 1 by 2 different drivers, and nobody is quite going to establish themselves through there. Then they have to go to the next braking zone, and there's contact, a little bit of pinballing. Bailey to Pittman, and Charlie Kelso somehow manages to keep that car in a straight line, but we have a new leader, Andrew Bailey, and a spinner in Tom Justice, and that almost has tagged Aidan Ingram, who's dropped down the order, who I think just had a bit of a slide, bit of a panic off of the back of that, tried to avoid the incident in the end, caused one for himself, dropped all the way back to P17. New leader then, Charlie Kelso, getting through on Andrew Bailey, who looks like he's had an incident all of his own, and 2 cars in the background going off. That's Zane Quecker, one of them. That's Max Moron, the other. That's a huge, huge moment. Jaden Slater now challenging for the lead of the race with Pittman and Kelso, and it is side by side between the top 2. Pittman on the inside, Slater on the outside. Pittman's going to get the overspeed, but has he overshot the corner? No, he hasn't. That's a very, very good move for the 15 to move his way up to the lead of this race, but it's been a feisty opening couple of laps here in race number 2, and Ricky Pittman has found his way then into the lead of it as Jake Critchley, the latest driver off the circuit. We've seen a few of the quickest drivers from race 1 pushing just a little bit too far over the line. Jake Critchley dropping down. We saw as well Zane Quecker having a problem, which means he's now down in 13th place. He's now going to be behind Charlie Devlin, who's had an impressive run up to the top the top 7, but we will be getting a virtual safety car out on the circuit for the first time this season. And the first time this season we will be seeing a virtual safety car to neutralise the action out on the circuit, and that is because the race director, who is of course this evening not Peter Cornelius, it is Tom Justice, Tom Justice was one of the drivers involved in some of the early skirmishes. It was Tom O'Farrell who called out that virtual safety car to neutralise the action, and unfortunately Peter isn't here to drive his car this evening, but we do get the virtual safety car, and Andrew Bailey parked off to the side. Our former race leader, the 601, has seen himself fall down the order quite significantly and now finds himself at the back, and I think that's going to be the end of the 601's evening. which is going to be very unfortunate because, of course, he was challenging for that race lead. No longer, and, well, the race has been neutralised with Ricky Pittman in the lead of it. But Jaden Slater looking very, very racy. We've had a number of leaders of this one so far. Pittman, Slater, Kelso, Bailey. 4 of them have challenged for the lead and have been in the lead at various different points. And this virtual safety car neutralises the action. Not only does it allow Andrew Bailey to sort of try and recover himself as he appears to be trying to do so now, it also allows for the opportunity for these drivers to really calm themselves down. It looked like it got a little bit over the rope last time. There's a fine line sometimes in racing, and so just making sure that they don't cross it and it doesn't get a bit nasty, because the most important part is that these drivers are having safe fun, and those are the 2 most important things about this series. Of course, the points, the everything really pales in comparison to having safe fun. And well, we'll see what they're going to be doing as we might be coming to the flag might be coming to the line, and we might be going back to green flag racing. We will see, as they do appear to be all neutralised, all caught up in with each other. There's a couple of swaps which we don't want to be seeing, because of course it's a safety car, it's a neutralised race, it's a yellow flag wave. We don't want to be seeing the drivers swapping, but hopefully that was just them miscommunicating and moving back positions. Bailey's going to try and catch up to the pack, and we will be going green flag racing on lap number 3 of this one. So a little bit of an early skirmish where it got very, very interesting for a number of drivers, which saw the likes of Oliver Sweetman drop to the back of the field, and it looks like Oliver Sweetman might be facing the wrong way. So now one of the contenders for race number 1, at least for second place, has dropped all the way to the back of this pack, and so he will be pretty much starting from square one with 7 minutes gone, as Ricky Pittman will take us back to green flag racing. We are a go here at Brands Hatch once again in race number 2, and Ricky Pittman gets off to a strong start. Jaden Slater not able really to make any inroads into the first corner. Anybody further back able to do the same thing? Well, Charlie Kelso's 9/10 off of the back of Slater, and Stapleton is 1.1 off of the back of Riley. So that is our 2 biggest losers on this race restart, as Tom Justice on the inside of Turner, Devlin on the inside of O'Connor. He's managed to make the move. Can Justice take the overtaking opportunity, have the door that was open? Not quite yet. Jones and Turner side by side. Dominic Jones, of course, who's had a tumultuous evening to say the least, and he moves up into 10th place. Max Moron, Williams, Brewer, all these drivers fighting over 13th on the circuit, but we are almost halfway through this one. 12 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. Tom Justice swapping with O'Connor, and Zane Quecker swapping with Mason Turner for 11th place. Zane never really seems to be able to fight his way through the field. He loves to be right up the very top of it. I think he might fall victim of trying to overdrive the car as Ricky Pittman covers off Jaden Slater into that next corner, just making sure that the 104 doesn't try anything. But now he might try anything this time around. Ricky defending the inside line on this occasion, and Jaden managing to just stay behind, stay calm, stay cool, stay collected, and try again down to the next braking zone. Barnaby Brewer down to 19th place behind Sutton and Ingram, so something might have happened to the number 26. Jacob Ellis finding his way through as well, and Jaden Slater, well, he's under pressure, he's under fire, and Charlie Kelso doesn't think he was aggressive enough in his moves on Ricky Pittman. That means that the 95 has decided it's his go, as Dominic Jones has found the wall in the number 7, and Mason Turner has found the grass, and Zane Quecker has found the grass on the other side as a result, and he just his race 2 has compounded, and it's just gotten worse and worse and worse down towards the main straight. Down locked in battle of Pittman and Slater, and they will continue down to the first corner. Who's going to be the first to back out? Who's going to be the first to try and make it to the outside line? It will be Pittman, who opens the door for Slater, but then comes across, and Jaden Slater's going to slide. That's going to be Ricky Pittman off of the circuit as well, so drops down to the back of the lead pack, and we have Charlie Kelso, the new leader of this race. The top 3, in fact, all Charlies. So it's Kelso, Devlin, Stapleton, and then Christopher Riley in that 4th spot at this point in time. So it's 4 C's at the top of the field now, with Ricky Pittman dropping to 5th, and well, his challenger for that position dropping further down. So unfortunate for them. And William Johnson off of the circuit, recovering to 12th, and the swaps for the lead as well. Devlin swapping with Kelso in the 23, really trying to take the opportunity to take this lead back. He's had so many opportunities. This has been a race of drama, and Charlie Devlin might be on here to take the lead once again. With half of the race gone, he's got one tyre on the grass. You can see the markings he's making. Kelso's squeezing him all the way to the outside, and that run that has been ruined might open the door for Riley. They are side by side. There's a bit of contact between the two, a bit of rubbing, and Riley is able to make his way into second place when it's all said and done. Charlie Stapleton wants the opportunity on Charlie Devlin. Devlin wants the opportunity on Riley, but that gets very, very tight between the 115 and the 23. And Charlie Devlin knows now, if he didn't know before, that nobody ahead is going to take any prisoners. Nobody is going to allow him any opportunities as Charlie Stapleton spins it on the exit and tries to avoid being on the line. William Johnson was trying to fight with Jonty Restrick, but had to pull out in the end of it, and that got very, very tetchy. Ricky Pittman is going to be on the inside of Tom Justice, trying to make his way back through, trying to make his way back up into the lead of this race, and Devlin alongside Riley. He's on the underline. Devlin is on the upper line. Riley even is on the upper line, and in the end it's just the class that oozes out of Charlie Devlin is enough to see him through. The aura alone is enough to make everyone fighting just that little bit. Ricky Pittman is trying to fight with Tom Justice, but it's when you get a reputation for being a very quick driver that teams and drivers decide to fight you just that little bit harder, and that has been the case here today. He's desperately tried to fight hard. They've all desperately tried to fight hard. Charlie Devlin has a reputation as being the quickest driver because he's the overall championship leader. Charlie Kelso is going to try and fight him incredibly hard. There's only so much you can do until Charlie Devlin makes his way through, and that's exactly what he's done with 5 laps gone in this race. Aiden Ingram on the back of Jacob Ellis, but he just dropped a position, and he might be dropping another Oliver Sweetman right on the back of him as Charlie Kelso again just on the back of Devlin. He's trying to seek every available opportunity to pull alongside and ahead, but he cannot quite do so. The inside line is what beckons for the next corner. Devlin tries to cover across, and so there is a bit of wheel banging. Somehow Charlie Devlin has managed to save that one, and he's going to run wide on the exit. Charlie Kelso spots his opportunity, bumping between the drivers once again, and Charlie Kelso still tries to hold the inside line. Devlin is going to slide across the racing line. Kelso's going to give him a lifeline and allow him to straighten up just by taking the racing line and giving him a little bit of a bump, a little bit of a boost. And well, Charlie Devlin can count his lucky stars that he's been able to keep that one straight, and he's got a lot to thank Charlie Kelso for, although potentially it was contact between the two that caused it in the first place. Tom Justice onto the podium positions, and well, him starting at the front hasn't quite been the dominant performance that he would have been hoping for, but instead what it has been, it's been a pretty decent one nonetheless. Jonty Restrick, Callum Williams with the fastest lap of this race, and well, it was we were watching Jonty Restrick very briefly on the back of William Johnson. Max Moron having an incredible race in 6th place, but Charlie Kelso looking at the back of Devlin, trying to go for the up and under, cannot quite get the run on the exit, cannot quite open up the door for himself, and the number 95 just waits and waits and waits. He seeks an opportunity. Devlin has, in fairness, thrown up a lot of opportunities, a lot of chances for him to make his way through, and he just hasn't been there. He hasn't quite had that communication and that reaction speed to make his way through. Moron on the inside of Ricky Pittman, not quite got the run. Callum Williams trying to make a difference in this one. He wants to be able to extend that championship lead ever further over Riley as Max Moron through on Pittman. Critchley now on the outside of Williams. So the number 934 was looking for an opportunity on the 2 in front, has been boxed in, and so Critchley is going to pull alongside and make it Noah's Ark for 5th down to 8th place. Pittman, Moron, Williams and Critchley. Critchley the first to back out, Moron of course the last, and he's going to go for the up and under, as is Critchley. They'll be into the next corner side by side, and Max Moron, is he going to be able to get the run? I think he is, but that's as a result of Ricky Pittman being slightly wide and off of the circuit, and so Max through might open the door to Williams and Critchley as well. Williams on the inside, but it does become the outside for the next corner, so no such doing for him. William Johnson through on Turner for the time being as well. That is for 9th place, 9th position, and that is at the back of that pack. 5 minutes and 45 left on this race clock, and Charlie Devlin has opened up a gap of 1.6 seconds to Charlie Kelso. Need I say more about our championship leader? And I wouldn't be surprised if he might be, and I can't do the commentary box maths, if he might be in with a shout at the title tonight, just because of how dominant he has been, with how it's double points, and with how the fact that he's got a 20-point lead already. Wouldn't be surprised at all if that was the case. Tom Justice through on Riley and on Kelso as well. Williams on the inside line of Pittman cannot quite make the move, nor can Pittman on Max Moron. So the fight for P5 continues very much on. And with the inside line back in for Williams to the next corner, cannot quite do so. Quecker and James Sutton side by side. Quecker's through, Stapleton's through, so Sutton might have made an error of some sort. Charlie Kelso through on Christopher Riley into the final podium position. Tom Justice has that second place on lock now, it seems, over a second ahead. And it looks like Kelso and Riley are going to be the two cars that will be fighting for it, for that final position. Of course, Max Moron could be in it as we get three wide further down the order. Turner, Pittman and Williams. Who's going to come out on top in that one? It's going to be Williams. Turner and Pittman continuously locked in battle, and Pittman on the inside. He's going to try and break later. He's going to try and make his way through, and he's going to try and hold on to what little scraps he has left. And ninth place is going to be his. But there's a 2-second gap between Devlin and Justice that just appears to be eking out and out and out. And then Kelso and Christopher O'Reilly, or Christopher Riley even, there's no O in the name, but they are split by 0.2 of a second, so it's all so close between them. Johnson and Critchley as well, very close for 6th and 7th position. And St. Quecker, of course, making his way past on Jacob Ellis. But we will cross over the line for what will be the 8th time. And we only have 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in the most important round of this season. Potentially even more important than the finale because of the double points aspect. But I mean, it's been a great way to keep the eyeballs, to keep the focus on this round of racing. And well, we will see what the drivers are going to be able to do. I've had a question in the chat about what do I think of Riley's season. And of course, we're watching the Andy MB number 115. I think he's had a very good season. I think by the all-comer standards, I think he's doing very, very well. I think it's going to go down to the finale himself and Callum Williams, and I think that's going to be the championship to watch between those two drivers. Duffy's not quite had the pace here today to keep up with them, and of course Riley picking up a huge haul of points with 4th plus or even times 2 for himself, and that is going to be a very, very huge one for Christopher Riley, and he might even be able to sneak onto the podium at the very end of this race. He's all over the back of Charlie Kelso, waiting for the number 95 to make a mistake. And can he do so? Well, I mean, we've seen mistakes made from Kelso before, but we've also seen very, very staunch defences for himself. We'll see. With 2 minutes 21 left in the session as to who is going to be able to come out on top. Well, we know who's going to be able to come out on top. It's Charlie Devlin, unless he makes any mistakes, but on top in terms of on that podium, which it's weird. It's really weird because 4th place and 3rd place, there is so much more gravity. There's so much more placed on finishing in that 3rd place. 4th place, you feel disappointed because you could have finished 3rd place. And I'd argue that that's more disappointing than finishing anywhere else in the field, even 2nd. Because even in 2nd, especially when you've got someone like Charlie Devlin, you go fair play. Speaking of Charlie Devlin, fastest lap of the race is Jonty Restrix, had some problems further down the order in 18th place, now 19th, as he drops behind Andrew Bailey. But, I mean, 1st place feels absolutely incredible, don't get me wrong. 2nd place, you feel as though you've missed out. You feel as though you should have been in the fight for the race win, or at least you should have been on that race win. 3rd place, you're on the podium, you're happy. You're not quite in a position to go for that race victory, but you're not off the podium, so you can be pretty happy with that one. 4th place, though, you're off of the podium, you get none of the plaudits, and you have to go home. So yeah, it's one of those ones really that you'll have to weigh up. As I'm trying to do the maths in my head now as to whether Charlie Devlin has sealed this title with victory in this race, and of course it's not all said and done yet. He's 4.3 seconds up the field, but maximum they can get in the last round of the season is 52, which means 104 points is the maximum they can get out of this. Charlie Devlin has picked that up. He's picked up maximum points from this race session, as we see Turner and Pittman side by side. Pittman able to edge out the Italian Mason Turner or at least that's what it says on his board. But yeah, 104 points is what Charlie Devlin will pick up from this weekend. You've of course got Johnson not in a bad position, but I mean, when they've got a 20-point swing heading into the round, and then they score 32 extra points, I think I can pretty confidently say that Charlie Devlin will be champion, but I'm not going to announce it for sure. And, well, we might be seeing the end of the race right now as Devlin around the final corner with 5 seconds to go. It's going to be very close to the line. I think he's going to... is he going to take us on to another one? Not quite. He's going to come to the line. He's going to finish us off for this race, and he's going to finish us off for this evening's action at Brands Hatch. Tom Justice, second place. Kelso, Riley and Moron very close between those three as they head to the line. And then it'll be Johnson, 6th place, Critchley, 7th place, Pittman, and then Turner and Slater rounding out the top 10 drivers. Then Quecker, Sweetman, Ellis, Stapleton, Jones, Sutton, Williams, Restrick, Brewer, Duffy, Ingram, O'Connor, Paris, and then Bailey will round out every single one of our finishers, and every single driver did finish in this race, which is a very, very good sign to see, although we haven't seen O'Connor, Paris or Bailey to the line yet. But there's O'Connor. Will we be seeing Paris to the line very shortly? I hope we will, indeed we will. And then Andrew Bailey will round us out for this evening's action, but Charlie Devlin, potentially champion-elect, very, very good drive from him. We'll get the opportunity, though, to speak to our all-comers champion, Christopher Riley, who, I mean, he's just about finished shy of the podium in the overall class, but you've got to be ecstatic with that victory in your class.
Absolutely, I put my all in, and sorry, I'm out of breath. Lots of words.
Not surprised. I mean, it looked very, very intense, the fight between yourself, Charlie, Kelso, and Max Moron. I mean, it was very much on your toes, it seemed like. What was it like down in the cockpit?
Oh, it was... sorry, I'm trying to think about it. No, it was all close battling. It was all just... It was very much intense from the previous rounds anyway, but... Oh, I just gave it my all, especially for the team. And, you know... But, my God.
Yeah, absolutely fair enough. It was a very, very good race indeed from yourself. We've got one round to go in the season. What are your hopes for that one?
I'm hoping I can do the same result anyway, but anything can happen. So up to the next round and see.
We certainly will. Well, thank you very much for joining us today, and
Thank you.
well, we'll be seeing you next time out.
Will do. See you.
And now we get the opportunity to speak to, as we have many times this season, we will do probably again, Charlie Devlin, who took that race victory overall and in the in that class. I mean, it's one thing starting at the front, it's one thing starting from the back. So it's very, very well done from yourself, I think, to fight your way through. But I mean, it was a bit of carnage in those early stages, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, there's a good start. Again, made a couple of good moves into the turn 1 and 2, and then going on to the back straight, everything kind of, I don't know, everyone just combusted in front of me, and I think I got caught out in it quite a bit, but I think nowhere near as much as some others. So I think I got quite lucky in that respect. Hopefully, I didn't cause any of it. I don't think I did, but I will have a look at the replay just to make sure that before the reports go in.
Certainly will. It's I mean, we were having a debate the last few laps as to whether that would seal your championship. It hasn't quite yet. It will go on to the final round, but I mean, 2 race victories, surely this was the performance that you were hoping for heading into even the season, so it must feel great to pull it off.
Yeah, especially in this round, getting a double win with double points is absolutely amazing. So, you know, it puts you that bit further ahead, so I haven't got to go all out in the last round to, you know, secure it by 2 points or anything like that. So yeah, hopefully the last round isn't going to be too chaotic in my way. I've just got to kind of bring it home. I think it's a 32 point gap, I think I just looked. So yeah, I haven't got to do anything crazy. I haven't got to go for double wins or anything like that. I think 2 podiums would be yeah, all I could ask for in that round, really.
It certainly is, and of course, pending protest, pending all these sorts of things, so we cannot confirm anything. But well done today, and we'll be seeing you, I'm sure, next time out, and hopefully, without a double booking, we'll be seeing you alongside your round 1 rival, Jordan Taylor.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was Charlie Devlin, and of course, as I mentioned, Jordan Taylor not able to race today, but he was able to challenge in race 1. It should be a scintillating one to watch in the last round of this season. 2 very quick drivers, and these are the provisional point standings. You can get maximum 52 points out of the final round, and as it stands, Charlie Devlin is 56 points ahead of William Johnson, but don't confirm anything, don't say anything just yet. Tom Justice is in 3rd place, 17 points off of William Johnson, and then it's Zane Quecker in 4th place. Ricky Pittman in 5th, and Jake Critchley in 6th place, with Oliver Sweetman. Callum Williams, who of course is our championship leader in his class, and then Jaden Slater and Max Moron rounding out the top 10. Christopher Riley finds himself in 11th, with Jacob Ellis in 12th. Charlie Stapleton in 13th. John T. Restrick in 14th. Barnaby Brewer in 15th. And Charlie Kelso, Sean Duffy, Mason Turner, Andrew Bailey, Scotty O'Connor rounding out the top 20. Jones, Ingram, Sutton, Taylor, Chatterton, Paris, Rowlands, Connor, Harrison King, and Rossi Costello rounding out the field. And you can tell the drivers that haven't raced this week, because, you know, the likes of Willis Harrison King, he's on 4 points. The likes of our championship leader, he's on 237. So that is the effect of a full double points race. And that is going to be 4 out of 5 races of this season ticked off. We've been to Donington, we've been to Castle Combe, we've been to Alton Park, and now we've been and gone to Brands Hatch. Croft is the location of our season finale, and it should be a scintillating one to watch. Of course, the all-comers class still very, very much on championship-wise. But yeah, that is going to be that for all of the action here at the best circuit in Kent. My name has been Joseph Black. I've been taking you through the action, and of course I've been significantly helped this evening, and a huge shout out to our broadcast director, series organizer and race director for this evening, Tom O'Farrell, representing both 2F Media Productions and Perfect Acceleration Sim Racing, and then of course our clerk of the course, Craig Chorney. And from ourselves to you, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, it is goodbye.